Some industries are just brutal. The apparel industry, it's famous for it. We're talking fierce competition, paper-thin profit margins. So how does a company go from just, making clothes for other people to becoming a real global leader? Well, today we're diving into the story of one company that did exactly that, and they use technology as their secret weapon. People often call the apparel game a no-win industry for the folks actually making the stuff. So how do you win it? That's the big question we're going to tackle today. So here's our game plan. First, we'll set the scene and look at just how tough this industry is. Then, we'll follow our case company through its 5 big stages of growth and pinpoint the exact tech that fueled each step. After that, we'll connect the dots between their strategy and their tech, check out the incredible results they got, and then wrap it all up with a blueprint you can actually use. All right, let's start with the battleground itself, the cutthroat apparel industry. It is a market that's all about pressure from every single side, and we're going to see how companies are just trying to survive the squeeze. Okay, so try to put yourself in a manufacturer's shoes here. You're in a constant price war with factories all over the globe. Your costs are sky high. Labor alone is like half your budget, which means your profit margins are razor thin. And then, boom, 2005 hits, trade quotas are gone, and the market is just flooded with new competition. Oh, and on top of all that, your customers want everything yesterday. It's a perfect storm of challenges. So against that incredibly tough backdrop, let's zoom in on our case company. We're going to trace its remarkable 5-stage evolution, a journey that took it from being just another factory to a genuine global powerhouse over about 2 decades. The whole story kicks off in 1990. They're basically just a standard manufacturer. By 96, they're starting to grow, getting into mass customization. The year 2000 is a big one. They start managing global logistics and even dabbling in design. Then in 2003, they get a lot faster, focusing on quick response. But the real game changer, that comes in 2006 when they take the huge leap and start creating their own brands. So what's the big deal with this shift? Well, think of it this way. As an OEM, you're basically a hired pair of hands. The client gives you a design, you make it. It's all about low cost, which means low profit. But when you become an ODM or an OBM, now you're the brain. You're designing the products, you're building the brands, and that right there is where the real value and the much bigger profits are. And here's the thing, this transformation wasn't just luck. Not at all. It was systematically powered by a very deliberate, step-by-step technology strategy. They were building a digital backbone to support their growing ambitions. You can see their technology adoption grew up right alongside the company. Back in the 90s, it was just the basics, some simple software, email. The year 2000, though, that was a huge turning point. They integrated all their internal systems with tools like ERP. And then, from 2001 onwards, they started looking outward, connecting their systems with their partners using supply chain management tools. So, what are all these systems with funny acronyms? Let's start with ERP. The easiest way to think about it is as the company's central nervous system. It's one single integrated system that manages everything, from buying raw materials to making the clothes and shipping them out across all their different sites. It makes sure everyone is on the same page. Then you've got their GLMIS, the Global Logistics System. This was the magic tool that let them manage this incredibly complex worldwide web of suppliers, factories, and designers. It was all about finding that sweet spot between low cost and high speed on a global scale. And finally, CPFR. Now this was the secret sauce that turned them into a real strategic partner for huge retailers like Walmart and Target. They started sharing forecasting and sales data back and forth. This meant they could predict demand, cut down on waste, and become way more than just another name on a long list of suppliers. Okay, this brings us to what I think is the most critical part of this entire explainer. It's all about how this company perfectly, and I mean perfectly, aligned its business strategy, the value it offered customers, and its technology. That alignment is what created their unbeatable competitive advantage. This slide right here, this is where it all clicks into place. Look at this. When they were an OEM, their value was cost and efficiency. So the tech they used was all about managing labor time to keep costs down. Simple. As they went global, they needed to be flexible, which their ERP system gave them. Then, when they shifted to being a designer, an ODM, the game was about speed and creativity. And what enabled that? Their global logistics system. And finally, as a brand owner, an OBM, they wanted to get super close to their customers. The CPFR system let them do just that. You see the pattern? At every single stage, technology wasn't just some add-on. It was the specific weapon they chose to win. So, the billion-dollar question, did this beautiful strategy actually work? Well, let's get to the results, because the proof, as they say, is in the performance. First, let's talk top line. A 25% revenue growth rate, that is massive. It shows their strategy wasn't just about surviving by cutting costs, it was about aggressive growth and actually capturing more of the market. But at the same time, they became incredibly efficient. I mean, just look at these numbers. They slashed quotation fees by 44%, order processing fees dropped by 40%, and air freight, which is a huge expense in this business, they cut that by nearly 40%. These are not small tweaks. These are huge operational gains that go straight to the bottom line. And this might be the most critical result of all, especially in fashion. They made decisions 80% faster. In an industry where trends can literally change overnight, being that agile is basically a superpower. It means they could spot a trend, switch up production, and get that product on the shelf faster than pretty much anyone else. So what can we all learn from this incredible story? Let's wrap this up by boiling it all down into a clear blueprint for success, with key takeaways that could apply to just about any business. So here's the playbook. Number 1, your tech goals have to line up with your business strategy, always. 2, don't forget the people. You have to manage the human side of change. 3, get your own house in order first. Integrate your internal systems before you try to connect with the outside world. 4, use technology to offer more value to your customers. 5, don't be afraid to ask for help. Get good consultants who know your industry. And finally, number 6, and this one is non-negotiable. You absolutely must have 100% buy-in from top management. The source material really says it best. The key factor was its excellent timing in the implementation of appropriate tech. See, it wasn't about just having technology. It was about having the right technology at the right time to support where the business was going. So, we'll leave you with a question to think about for your own work. What's one core process in your business that could be completely transformed, not just by throwing any technology at it, but by aligning it with the right technology?